Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Liverpool and I'm back for another Eurovision analysis video. Today we had the first dress rehearsal of Eurovision 2023. I'm going to give you my thoughts on all the performances from everyone in semi-final number 1, as well as 3 of the automatic qualifiers, France, Italy and Germany. So let's kiki. So I'm currently in the press center. They have these like wacky rooms where you can film stuff. This one is called Conchita's Holiday Home. I like themed stuff. I'm sure all these books are empty. Anyway, future Tom here. There's something I want to talk about first before I go into the rehearsals, and that is this controversy in terms of announcing the qualifiers. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, what the hell are you doing? Go follow me on Twitter right now. But this drama was all unfolding there. Basically, when we're watching the first dress rehearsal, they showed the qualifiers on the stage. So she brought the actual acts up. It wasn't stand-ins, and they put them on the stage and they basically called them out one by one. You've qualified. It was really bad. It was like properly really cringy, and it was very slowly done as well. So they were literally standing there, and at one point Ireland actually sat down because they were tired, because they were standing there so long waiting to get called or not called. So they called 5 in a mock way, very, very slowly, and then they brought the 5 up and they did a little bit of an interview with them, like how does it feel, etc, etc. And then they called out the last 5, and when it came to the last qualifier, they had all 6 of them in the windows, because there's 6 people left but only 1 place, and then they said you're the last qualifier, and literally you could see the other 5 of them having their dreams crushed. Obviously it was fake crushing of the dreams because it was only a dress rehearsal, but if this had gone live, that's what we would have seen. We would have seen maximum disappointment. Luckily, within a couple of hours, this was reversed. The EBU published a statement saying we're not going to do this. There was a petition on change.org that was started by some fans. I also think that the artists went backstage and said, we do not like this. Hopefully someone like Noah or Lorraine, who probably have a little bit more kind of like power, maybe put their foot down and said, I'm not partaking in this. Just unnecessary humiliation. You know, it's already bad enough that some people put so much effort into trying to qualify, and then it's unfortunate we have to watch them have their hopes dashed after all the work that they put in. But then to try and profit from that and have all 5 non-qualifiers on screen and watch their disappointment, it was just a terrible decision. I don't know what that happened, but it doesn't matter. It's been reversed. It's not going to happen. Thank God. In fairness, they've listened to somebody and the feedback, and they said, we're going to cut it out. They're going to do the standard thing that we've had before in the green room. So I'm happy that's happening. So I arrived into Liverpool a little bit late, so I missed the first 4 performances, but I saw everything else. So I'm actually going to work backwards, and then when the second dress rehearsal starts, I'll see the first 4 countries before them, and then I'll complete the video. So I'm not going to have too many spoilers on this. I'm not going to put any photos up. I'm going to try and keep it simple, just give you a thought of my impression of the act, what their styling looked like, what the camera cut. So first up, let's work backwards. So first of all, let's go for Germany. So Germany's show was awesome. They weren't wearing any of their outfits. Chris Harms was actually dressed in like a black sweater. He had his glasses on. He actually looked very respectable, like he was going to lunch with a new girlfriend or something. Totally perfect performance. This looks really, really put together. It looks like a stadium show. Loads of pyro, giving it a lot of excitement. Chris's vocals were totally and utterly perfect. This is going to be perfect on the night because these guys are so impeccable in their performance ability. So no worries about that. I think this looks really, really great. I'm still putting this as a potential dark horse to do a little bit of damage in the televote. I think I pretty much got the feel of everything that's going to be other than the outfits. None of them were dressed in their outfits. They were all wearing casual clothes. So that was the only thing that wasn't normal about it. The photos kind of showed us what it's going to look like, but then their energy and talent really shone in the performance. Let's go back one more, and Italy. So yeah, this is really, really, really good. I have to admit, when the photos came out, I was a little bit worried that this was going to be really similar to L'Essenziale, Marco's entry in 2013, which honestly nothing massive happened. There was like some soft panning and him on the stage. Obviously it's a very simple, intimate song, and they went for very, very minimalist staging with that. I was worried they were going to do the same thing again, but it's not. It's got a cool concept. 2 dancers are on a stage behind him. He was wearing his simpler vest today, which I don't like as much, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be wearing that silver to black ombre on the actual night, which is a really stunning outfit. Performance wise, he's perfect. He's always going to do this perfectly. He's such a superstar. Just looks so effortless to him. Like, it just sounded great. He gives her great intensity. The performance energy and style is just really, really, really great. So this is a big grower for me. Look, I'm not saying this is going to go up into my top 10 or anything, But previously this was a song I didn't really enjoy, and I really like the staging because it's got that like spacey moon, stuck on a moon feel. I really like the two guys who fall off the bridges and bounce up and down. It's really cool, and it just adds in a little bit of extra something that there kind of wasn't with L'Essentiale, in my opinion. So yeah, I like that he's been more ambitious this year, doing something that's a little bit more fun. I think this is really going to go down well with anyone who's into something a little bit more refined and conservative. Anyone who finds like Croatia or Germany or Serbia like too wild and out, and Finland, of course, Garia. This is going to be like that safe, more conservative spot. I'm not saying everyone who likes this song is conservative, but it's definitely very inoffensive, kind of like safe but high quality. I think Marco's really excellent. So this is something that's gone up in my standards. I actually enjoy this staging. Okay, working back one more space, let's go to France. I thought this sounded really good. Some people in the center were saying her vocals sounded a little bit off. Now, I was in one room, some people were in another room, so the acoustics might have sounded different in each place. I had a lot of people talking behind me for most of the performances, so maybe I missed out on that. I thought the vocals sounded fine. This is really dramatic. It's a bit difficult for them because she's in one place the whole time. Obviously, she's on top of that pillar and she can't move around. So they do a pretty good job at keeping things moving with some like gorgeous slow pans. And then we have the reveal of the dress, which you saw in the photos, and then the light hitting the pillar. So stuff happens. There's a storyline that's progressed throughout the performance. But yeah, they just need to be a little bit careful because she can't move around. She's kind of stuck. She gives us some shoulder dancing. There's some really nice shots from overhead, and actually the camera work is really clever and very smooth, and it's very photogenic. The show's sort of nice when you keep an eye on when Norway comes on. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think this is great. I don't know if this can win, but I think it's definitely here to do some damage, and I feel like this staging is so ambitious that they're trying for the win. They're not being complacent or just settling. They're actually going for it, and if it doesn't work, that's fine. I think they've put forward a really classy entry. It's going to be very memorable within the community. One step back is Garia from Finland. Okay, so let's talk about two aspects of this. The first one is the audio aspect. I think the vocals at the start were amazing. When he's in the rap section, no problems whatsoever. Later on in the song, I don't know if it was a problem with his earpiece or if it was a problem with his microphone or what, but it sounded really breathless. Like he was moving around so much that he was out of breath. I'm not sure if that was the issue or if it was a problem with the mic or something. I can't tell. Visually though, this is absolutely like mind-blowing. He's literally non-stop. Incredible tableaus, little elevations from UMK in all the aspects. The general story of it follows UMK, but just everything has had an extra sprinkling of more added in, and it's really great and exciting, and he's moving around a lot. He really is running around the stage, and I think that might be part of the reason why he was so breathless. They may need to use a sixth person to help him vocally, because I have to admit, if he had those vocals in the final, I can't see him winning, because it was just quite distracting towards the end. I was kind of wincing a little bit for him. I was like, come on, Gary, let's get through this to the end. And it just sounded like he was catching his breath, or like I said, technical issues, I'm not sure. So I really hope that they fix that, and that's not the reason. Don't worry, this is not like anything that would threaten his qualification at all. It's more just fine-tuning that might stop him from winning if they don't have the vocals really good. But visually, this is a total feast. So entertaining, amazing colors, just brilliant. It's fantastic. Let's go one back, and that's Netherlands. I'm doing this all from memory. This should impress some of you if I can get all of them correct. So 14th was Netherlands. I really enjoyed this. I think it's so different from everyone else. I think it's the most minimalist out of everybody, but it's really stripped down. I think that the two of them do a great job, Mia and Dion. I thought their vocals were good for the majority of it. Maybe a couple of bits I remember towards the end sounded a tiny bit off, but like huge improvement. I think they've got great energy on the stage. They got a great performance quality that's kind of surprised me. You know, good facial expressions. I love their chemistry. Some people saying they have no chemistry. I don't get that at all. They seem like they're really built a close bond. And I would imagine part of it is that they got so attacked by the Dutch media together that they probably kind of only had each other. You know, there's a few articles going out that they weren't really supported enough during that time. I get the impression they were supporting each other, and that really formed a super close bond between the two of them. And I think it comes across on stage. I felt a bit of magic. I'm not saying it's totally there yet, but compared to where we were a couple of weeks ago, where most people were saying this is borderline no qualifier, I thought it was really great. Okay, back to Future Tom, and we're going through the rehearsals again. First thing I've got to add is about Finland. I did watch the second rehearsal for Finland, so I've got people walking by me. That's why my eyes keep flitting around. In Finland's second rehearsal, they did have a sixth person backing them up vocals. Now, it kind of worked because it smoothed it out, but there were times when they weren't matching vocally. This backup male singer singing with Carrie in this latter half, and because of that, it did sound a little bit weird to the ear when they didn't match. It sounded better than the first dress rehearsal where like he was properly breathless and there were gaps in the singing. This didn't have those gaps, but I don't know, they need to iron this out. This needs to be their priority now for the next 4 or 5 days because it detracts from the performance. And if you compare to Lorraine, I'm sorry I'm comparing to Lorraine, but they are the two main favorites right now. Her vocals are just perfect for the whole thing, and there's actually quite a few other acts who've just got flawless vocals throughout the whole performance, and Carrie is really trying to get those jury points, and I just think the jury's going to punish any vocal issues that there are. So I really hope that Carrie can sort this out. Obviously, you know, I'm a huge fan of him and I want him to put forward his full, proper, amazing show for people to see and not be held back by anything like a breathy vocal. Let's go one step back from Netherlands, which is Czechia. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I wonder, am I a little bit out of sync with the rest of the community because we just watched it in the press room, and afterwards I was like, well, this is amazing, I'm blown away. But there was like silence from everyone else, because usually there's like a little bit clapping after certain acts, and there was no clapping afterwards, so I was a little bit, oh, that was a frosty reception. Am I the only one who really likes this? I think this looks gorgeous, so I can only give you my impression and my opinion. I think it looks really beautiful. I love the pinks and the silvers. I love this really stark imagery of the hands up against the glass and the text that's come on and the dolls. I'm so impressed by how much they've elevated their choreography. Honestly, you saw me say about the pre-parties that I felt they looked very awkward and it just didn't work. This whole thing works. I'm really shocked at how good the energy from all 6 of them is. Really like huge improvement for me. I find that really impressive. Czech delegation again bringing really beautiful visuals. I'll be really upset if this doesn't qualify because I think it's really gorgeous. So many gorgeous tableaus when they're holding hands and spinning around and their long ponytails are flying out. When they do their doll dance, it works. I said in a previous video I felt that looked a little bit awkward, but when all of them really commit to it and put 100% energy in, it actually looks really good. So yeah, I'm really positive about this, but I have to wait and see now, is that a me thing? Are other people feeling that? I'm gonna have to wait and see what you guys think when you see this tomorrow night. But I really hope this qualifies. One backwards is Azerbaijan, yet number 12. Look, this is pretty, it's nice, it's got a totally different vibe. They start off in black and white and then we see them in their kind of 70s outfit and they're standing on the box shaped like a heart. Look, it's a really chill, different vibe. I just think they need a very specific person to tune in who would love this, because it's kind of more real and authentic and it's got a like grittier, cool, chill feel to it. But I just don't think there's a huge amount of people like that who watch Eurovision, that type of person where this would be their favorite song. I'm not saying this is out of qualify. I think everyone has a chance to qualify. I don't think there's anyone who's like totally out of it, but this would be the biggest surprise for me out of all 15. The vibe is cool, but I just don't think the song is strong enough. One back from 12 is 11. This is Loreen. So Loreen from Sweden. Look, I really like this. I think this looks super cool. I think once you watch it a couple of times, you kind of get used to the cube being smaller and you start to adjust your expectations of what you're seeing. I think the coloring of the cube has changed. I remember complaining last time that the cube looked too red-brown. I didn't notice that at all. Like, literally did not notice it. So maybe they changed it or the lighting changed on it. Look, it looks really stunning. And the main thing about this for me is if you liked her performance in Melody Festival, and you're going to get the exact same performance because she's such a consummate professional. She's so amazing. And the vocals sounded great. And this is where right now, I think her biggest advantage comes over Carrie, because vocally this is absolutely ready to go. Put it in a box, put a bow around it and send it off. It feels finished to me, whereas I feel like Finland still has a couple of things they need to work on. So yeah, I don't have any notes. I think it looks great. I love the blustery sandstorm that happens behind her. There's a lot less smoke than Melody Festival, and I think they don't want to risk there being too much smoke and having it be ruined. And it feels like the LED's more involved because it feels closer to her, and we're getting the sand, and then at the end the box comes up and she feels like she interacts with the audience, and we got a big cheer at that point. This is really beautiful staging. I'm still kind of in the same place with the song, but I really admire the staging and this fantasy, science fiction, mystery, planet feel that she's giving us is really cool. 10th was, I've really set myself up by going backward. By the way, I have watched the first 4 performances, so I will tell you about them later. 10th is Moldova. Now this is really tough for me. He's between Israel and Sweden, who are 2 real showstoppers this year, but they're both kind of like female pop bop songs. I'm wondering, does the market of people who are going to vote for Moldova even overlap with that? Because it really feels like he gets washed out by the two big superstars either side of him. But then again, are the people who vote for this even gonna really care that much about those two anyway? As in, like, does it just appeal to a different fan base, full stop? Look, it looks great, nothing wrong with this at all, it's very solid. No, there is something wow in this. It's got that high class visuals that we got in the music video. There's nothing extra, but the starting product from the music video was already super cool. I love Pan's outfit, I love the interaction between them, I love this kind of campfire feel. The whole colour palette looks like we're sitting beside a fire and they're doing a dance around it. And there's loads of cool stuff to grab onto here. And one part of me says, is he going to get washed up by the two women? And then the other part says, this is so different from them that's what's going to help it stand out. It's so confusing to me. I don't know. I can see this potentially being a shock non-qualifier. And then I think, well, Moldova's done so well in the televote in the past and been underestimated. Is this happening yet again? I don't know. Oh god, I'm dreading doing my prediction video tomorrow morning. Anyway, let's not worry about that now. 9th place is Noah Krell. This is my biggest grow of the day. This is really spectacular. I just think she's amazing. Some people were complaining about the vocals on the first rehearsal. Honestly, I didn't hear it. Now, again, I had people talking around me, the acoustics aren't perfect, but I couldn't hear any problems. I thought she sounded good. The start, it sounded like her mic was too low and I couldn't hear her that clearly, but I didn't hear that her vocals were off, and then towards the end, they sounded great to me. Second live through, which I just watched now, I've watched both. I watched the whole of the second dress rehearsal. I thought I was particularly paying attention for her vocals and I thought they sounded absolutely fine. Like really, really good. More than fine. This performance, particularly the end, is amazing. The dance break is super cool. And then straight out of that, she goes into some really amazing LEDs, like some of my favorite LEDs of the whole thing. Like, I'm someone who had this kind of, I think it was ranked around my 20th or so, and this staging really elevates it for me. I'm not saying it's going into my top 10, but as someone who's wasn't massively converted by the song, this is elevated for me. It's gone up. I think this is really, really cool and classy. I think it's definitely qualifying. I'd be so shocked if this doesn't qualify. She just exudes this professionalism. The whole thing's crazy polished. I literally just waved at my friend who's an Irish journalist and she loved this song. She was like freaking out beside me. It was her favorite of the whole show, more than Lorraine, more than Caria. 8th was, why did I do this to myself? Switzerland. Now, I'm gonna make, this is such an obvious contrast, so I apologize, but Switzerland and Netherlands, I thought Netherlands won the battle today. I think Switzerland's nice, but it just feels quite detached. It feels a little bit impersonal. It's very elegant and sleek like we expect from Sacha Jean-Baptiste, but it's maybe so elegant that it doesn't have the intimacy. Netherlands is very intimate. There's a lot of close cuts of their face and of them, and it feels very vulnerable and like we're getting to know them and we feel them. Whereas Switzerland, it's more choreographed. He's got this kind of like slight war dance. We've got these like typical color palette that we expect from Sacha Jean-Baptiste, reds and blacks. Actually, it starts off more blue. Honestly, between the two, I like both of these songs a lot. Actually, in my rankings, I think they were 12th and 13th. So song-wise, they're pretty even for me. I enjoyed Netherlands more. If you told me, okay, Tom, only one of them qualifies, who you gonna guess? I would probably guess Netherlands. Now, vocal-wise, Switzerland's stronger. His vocals are really excellent. He does look awkward at some points. You can see him planning the choreography, getting ready for it. He's not as comfortable in movement as he is in singing. He's not bad, but just sometimes I can see him preparing to do the move. Sorry, there's someone singing there on TV. A little bit iffy about this now, if this is gonna go through. I'm not sure. That's very distracting. Okay, anyway, one back from Switzerland is number 7, that's Croatia. Croatia is interesting now. The start is very flat. It's proper flat for a good 45 seconds. But the LEDs are probably the most fun out of everyone. Really, really cool. They're the most risky, they're the most dangerous vocals, really exciting, love the colors. The end of it's actually really spectacular, the final tableau. And then when they do a dress reveal, which I won't reveal for you, which I won't ruin, you can probably guess. If you know their backstory, you know what's gonna happen with the dress reveal. And then we know that the guy comes on with the rockets. It has a really spectacular finale. So it starts very flat and then it kind of goes quite sharply up. Because of that, I don't know, I still think this is gonna go through. The final graphics are super artistic, psychedelic, risky, dangerous. They're impressively done. They're not cheap or crappy looking. They look proper quality graphics. Vocals are good, the choreography looks more synchronized and better. I'm just worried about the start. I think the start is too dragging. I think they needed something on stage to fill that time more than their choreography. Number 6 is Ireland. Look, I think their only shot is to get the audience just really into this. First dress rehearsal I saw, the audience was empty, nothing they could do. Second dress rehearsal, there was an audience, there was no interaction. I think they should have been grabbing people's hands, showing the audience more, just getting them riled up, getting them into a frenzy, getting the clap. The clap part, they kind of got a few people going, but just nowhere near the amount that they needed. I think getting the audience interacting is gonna make this stand out. That's the thing that makes them different from everyone else, and they didn't do it enough. So I was sitting there with Connor from Eurovision, who does Eurovision podcast, and we were both saying, look, they need to go for this audience interaction niche. That's their secret weapon, and they didn't do it enough in the second dress rehearsal, but they may do in the semi-final. Look, there's a chance this qualifies, but they just need to make themselves totally different from the rest. There's some cool moments. He puts his hand onto the ground and interacts with a LED hand. That's really cool. There's lots of golds going on. The visuals aren't enough. They need to bring the atmosphere. Let's go back to number 5, Portugal. Mimi Kat's a superstar. She needs to be on triple pay. If she qualifies, they need to give her the keys to every single city in Portugal. She's working her ass off. She's spectacular. Vocals flawless, energy flawless, performance perfection. Dancers are great as well. The staging is completely bare. From what I've heard, they had issues with their LEDs. What they submitted, they didn't like what was made for them, and then they ended up with having no LEDs. Look, it could work. The audience loved this. The crowd absolutely adored this, and actually the people in the press center did as well. But look, it's just so bare. Really, in terms of LEDs, we've got blinking lights behind her. It looks a lot actually like Turin last year. Those lights are very similar. In terms of LEDs, we literally have a red line on the floor. I can't think of anything else. It's just black, it's darkness. It could work. It's minimalist, it's very bare bones, it's very real and authentic and has no flowery extras on it. Some people might just say, look, where are the flowery extras? We want that. Everyone else is doing such a big show. Why is she doing something different? It could stand out, or people could just go, why is it the odd one out? If this qualifies, Mimi Kat is a hero. She's a heroine. Sorry, she's a heroine. Number 4, Latvia. Oh my God, this is so freaking beautiful. This is the most beautiful staging of the whole semi. They've got this firefly effect on the ground. They've got the same similar lights they had in the national final. This is the best Latvian staging since Love Injected. It is so beautiful. Their performance style is great, really intense, really indie, really passionate in getting into the moment. He does the high note, it sounds great. They've got these lights on the side of the runway which look like blinking flowers. There's so much gorgeous stuff here. This deserves to qualify, and if it doesn't, it's going to be one of the saddest things about this semi-final, because it totally deserves to be in the final and it deserves to break Latvia's non-qualification streak, and it's sad that that might not happen. But yes, this is freaking beautiful. Number 3, Serbia. My favorite song this year. Yeah, I got chills with this, but that's me. I just love this song. He's bringing an extra layer to this. He's acting more. His faces, his facial expressions, the laugh that he does, just these small little nuances. Everything for me is elevated. Visually, it looks largely similar to the national final. I think there's small things being elevated. We've got the 4 dancers who I absolutely love. The bit where he's pulling out their pipes and the gas comes out, that's been elevated as well. Luke is much more in your face. He's practiced it. It looks really, really polished and well acted. It's very like a character he's portraying, and it's giving this like extra layer of performance to the song. I still don't know how this is gonna go. I am so proud of Luke though. I think it's freaking lovely. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And this did really well in the press poll actually. We'll have a look at that at the end. Second up, Malta. Look, I think this is super fun. I'm still thinking this can be a qualifier. My issue with the start is a little bit naff with the cardboard cutouts. That bit doesn't really work. It looks a little bit cheap. And my friend again, that journalist, she was saying it just looked a bit confusing. She thought it was like a joke that she wasn't getting. But overall, the performance is really exciting. They move around a lot. They move through lots of different scenes. Missed a couple of marks, but overall, this is super fun. I still think this can be a shock qualifier, just based off the fact that Hey Mama, which also had that fun party vibe, did so well in the televote. And I just think this is such a similar vibe. And then I've said in previous videos, is this going to be like City Zieni from Latvia, which didn't qualify? But I just think this Malta has a stronger song than that, and more happens. Like City Zieni had great outfits and they had great energy, but not really much happened on the stage. They had some cool graphics which we couldn't see, and they moved around and did some cute lines, but Malta's got way more going on, despite the fact it's second in the running order and it's so early. And there's a couple of things in it that just look a little bit naff. Overall, the feeling is so super fun. I definitely think this has got got a chance to go through. I just feel sad that it's not. Like if this was 14th in semi-final number 2, it would be a sure qualifier. I wouldn't even be talking about it. It would be so obviously going through. So it's kind of sad that we're like talking, this is kind of a borderline no. But yeah, I'm gonna have to have a long think about this and see. It did a little bit worse in the press poll than I was hoping. I was hoping it would do a bit better. We'll go through the press poll at the end. Finally, let's talk about Norway. Yeah, I think this looks great. Look, it's very similar to the MGP staging. No massive changes. It's just got a couple more elevated things or costumes, but a lot of the choreography is very similar. The bit where they pop out and do the moves has been elevated. There's some extra things added in. I really like that. I think it looks so cool, especially when it's done really, really well. It's so much fun. Germany's happening now. They already also kind of know what it's going to look like because you've seen MGP, and then just imagine her in a different outfit and then elevate a couple of things. I have to admit, the bit at the end with the orange runway, which you saw in her clip, I think the graphics look a little bit cheap. They look quite blocky, like rectangles, as opposed to looking like rays of light or something. So that's one small thing, but largely it sounded fine. She was saving her voice in the second dress rehearsal, which I watched, so she was actively protecting it. So I didn't hear her full vocals, but I already know what it's going to sound like because I've heard that before. Okay, let me tell you who my standouts were before I go into the press poll. I thought Netherlands elevated for me today, Israel elevated massively, and Czechia. They were actually the 3 countries I voted for in the press poll. Not saying I don't love Finland, but I knew people were going to vote for him anyway, so it's like he's safe. And I didn't vote for Serbia because I didn't see it. So I voted for those 3. Let's go through the list. In reverse order, 15th Azerbaijan. Yeah, look, this is gonna be a huge shock if it goes through, but I wouldn't mind it. 14th Croatia. Look, a lot of people just aren't fans of this in the bubble. I thought the show was good. I think 14th is probably a bit too low. Ireland in 13th, I think they need to be higher if they're gonna have a chance. Malta in 12th, a little bit disappointed with this. I was hoping that it would be a bit higher. So maybe I'm starting to worry now, is this just a me thing that I'm loving this fun vibe? But generally, televote, general public, fun, that's what they kind of really gravitate towards the most. They gravitate towards it. They like everything, but that's definitely one of the things they like the most. Moldova in 11th, I'm so worried about this being a shock non-qualifier. We're going to have at least one in the semi. Norway in 11th, that's a tiny bit worrying as well. At the end of the day though, this song is so strong, the amount of streams she's had, 50 million or whatever, look, I think that's going to get her through the strength of the song. Latvia in 9th, okay, a little bit sad about that. Again, I probably would have voted for this if I didn't see it in the first dress rehearsal, so I couldn't vote for it. Netherlands in 8th, that's kind of nice to see. Netherlands building up a little bit of momentum. What a great redemption story this would be for them. Serbia in 7th, I talked to a lot of people in the centre who said they really, really enjoyed this, and it was kind of a little bit of a grower for them. Portugal in 6th, so maybe she can get away with having no visuals. Maybe it's just her exceptional performance is going to be enough. This is going to be a big question for me. Does staging matter that much if your performer is that good? Could you have someone who's so exceptional that they can just stand on a quite empty stage? Now, she's not empty, she's with dancers, but you know what I mean. Do sometimes we overestimate how important staging is? Switzerland 5th, okay, that's pretty high. I'm a little bit surprised by that because, like I said, Netherlands won that battle for me. But yeah, people really liking Switzerland, cool. Czechia in 4th, I'm glad to see this. Okay, so it's not just me who liked this despite that frosty reception after the second dress rehearsal. And I just saw my friend who said that this got a really good reception in the arena. 3rd is Israel. Okay, yeah, expected that. Incredibly show-stopping. I'm not sure how the audience reaction was, but I would say it's pretty good. This looks cool. Sweden in 2nd. Again, this had a really great reaction in the press center. Lots of people clapping after a performance. It looks really, really amazing. Both dress rehearsals sounded great. And Finland in 1st. And again, my friend who was in the audience said that people went absolutely apeshit for this. They were like screaming it and going crazy. If they iron out the vocals, don't worry, this can come for the win. But yeah, Finland and Sweden top, as you kind of would expect based on what's happening in the odds and all the hype in the lead up. The semi-finals were really, really high quality. You don't want to miss anything. Really, all 15 acts. There's very little toilet breaks. I think a lot of people are going to say the toilet break is Azerbaijan. I still think Azerbaijan's staging is nice, but yeah, really the other 14 songs, you don't want to miss anything. It's good. It's going to be really, really, really good. And then France, Germany and Italy were all great as well. Really great standard this year, really high quality staging, good professionalism, good concepts put forward, everything looking very clean and well done. So that's what I thought about the first and second dress rehearsals of Eurovision 2023. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Okay, and just a couple of shout outs. Big thank you to Nina and Elizabeth for supporting me on PayPal, and Jen and William from Montpellier for supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee. Your support is really appreciated. Thank you so much. I have a couple more people I need to name, but I will do that in the next video because I keep everything on a spreadsheet to make sure that I don't forget to thank anyone. I'm gonna do my final prediction video tomorrow. Is as gut-wrenchingly difficult as it's going to be. I promise I will commit to 10 people tomorrow and hopefully get that video up. I might watch another dress rehearsal and make my decisions because it's so difficult. Yeah, this is going to be such a hard semi. There's going to be some shock. If you like this analysis video and you want to watch some more, I'll leave some here for you to click on. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.